Welcome to Main Street Minds with your host, Amish Munshi. This is where industry leaders and seasoned pros share their secrets to success beyond limits. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to Main Street Minds. Today we have a very special guest, Donna, over here with us, all the way from Dallas, one of my favorite places to be. It's right in the middle of the country and we can go everywhere from there. So I love to travel and it makes it very easy to be there. What's more important is just how successful Donna has been at her career. She has had multiple positions at very important places, and also the contributions that you do back to the community with everything that you do. So without any further delay, I want to cover everything. It's going to be action-packed and a lot of wealth of information. So thanks, Donna, and I'll open up the floor. Introduce yourself and share your journey.
Thanks, Amish. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this, and I hope we will have a good time for the next 20 to 30 minutes, and it's an honor to be here with you. So, hello, my name is Donna. I am currently a senior software engineer with Slack, which is part of Salesforce right now. And I've been in the tech industry for close to a decade now and really enjoyed the past close to 10 years. So if I have to start from where I started and how I got here, I started my career originally in India, like right after my undergrad from Kerala. I did my undergrad in computer science, and I worked there for almost a year. And I felt I really wanted to do a master's degree, and I had that urge to do it somewhere outside so that I get a better exposure or like a different experience than what I had until then. And while I was working during my first year, I started applying for international schools here in the US. And I got admitted to University of Texas at Arlington. And that's where I did my master's. So almost 1 year into my career, I took a break. I decided to go back to school, do my master's in computer science. Mm-hmm. And that's when I migrated from India to the US. And did 2 years of master's. It was a great time. And after that, I got my first job with Visa. And I think like we shared that background together. Like we both went and worked at Visa at some point of our time. So it was fintech. It was a great first job to have. I learned a lot. Started as a backend engineer. Had a great team, very supportive of the journey that I had during my first few days, especially when transitioning from international student to a professional. There were a lot of things that I had to learn and that I learned in the process. And from there, I moved to different companies, Microsoft, Dropbox, and right now I'm at Slack. And it's been quite a journey, and I did have a lot of learnings throughout that period.
Yeah, so I think going back a little bit, when generally while studying in India, we do have options of applying and moving to various different places, right? What motivated you to come to US?
I'd say the main motivation was all the tech industry was based in Silicon Valley, and that's a dream of every software engineer, budding software engineer that would have. So that was a major part of my inspiration. Plus, I've been watching what are the tech industry techs, where are the major tech companies booming, what are the roles opening up, and plus the education system that was there. So I did want to have a more practical oriented training. And looking at the curriculum, when I spoke with a couple of people who did a master's outside of India, like in various countries, out of all the people, my friends or my mentors who were here in the US, they gave me an idea of this is what aligns more with what I want. I didn't want to be a theory reading person. I didn't want to be chunking books over and over and then writing it out, essays and essays. I wanted to do something more practical, focused on projects, and that's what made me lean more towards a master's degree here in the US.
Nice, makes sense. So tell us a little bit more about the work culture and how does it feel to be in various different industries, right? There was fintech, there is with it,
Got it.
I don't know how to classify Slack, because it's like it's every possible industry needs it, right? Just like
Yeah.
basics of communication. Like
Yeah.
how does it feel to have like a variety of backgrounds?
Mhm. So I'm not denying that I experimented a bit with my career on like what I'd like to work the most, and starting with fintech. And something that I realized about myself is like I enjoy working on products, actual user focused products, which
Mhm.
uh, where I can see customers using the products and giving me feedback on like, hey, this is something that I really enjoy doing or like working on. So I've done throughout my career, like I've done multiple projects, which was some of them were internal projects, and Visa, of course, it was fintech, and both customer facing and non-customer facing. And I figured I'm enjoying a lot more of customer facing products than non-customer facing.
Mhm.
I guess it's a satisfaction that people actually use it and give you feedback, and or like people whom I know, like my friends or family, my parents, they can actually use the things that I'm working on, and they can actually give me feedback on, okay, this is something that was very helpful to me. I guess that's a satisfaction that I've been getting from working on products.
That's amazing, because all everyone I know right now is using Slack. Like even in my industry right now, like my brokerage, my communication platforms, the investment platforms, everybody is on Slack, and it's just amazing how Slack has been so successful at what it's doing. So it's tell us a little bit more about like what was the secret to success for Slack versus like there's like so many different options, right? But what made Slack so successful?
I think it's the focus on customers. So
Mm-hmm.
Slack has been doing everything like sourcing feedbacks from customers, like
Mm-hmm.
whether it be like a customer post. So I see a lot of customers post on LinkedIn on the Slack page messages, or post on like a Slack post telling that, hey, this is a feature that we would like to have.
Yeah.
And there are teams like that really take into consideration of all these features. And within Slack, we ourselves use Slack. And so
Yeah.
as users, we are customers as well for Slack. So when we use a product, you know better about like what are the needs of a customer, like is it fitting the needs? So
Mm-hmm.
you won't know in and out of a product unless and until you use it.
Yeah.
And that's the key of making a product success, like from my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. And then I think also I was also thinking like not being stuck with a platform like Google or Microsoft like too integrated, just
Yes.
being a little bit more open also does help to say, hey,
Yeah.
we are a little more platform agnostic, and we can integrate with both your
Yeah,
environment.
and that's another piece of like why Slack has been like so successful, and like which has been very useful. Like, say you need to integrate one thing to the other, and there are like a lot of provisions to say, for example, if it's integrating your Google, like getting notified in Slack about your Gmail emails that you're getting, your calendar invites. There's a lot of integrations that makes your life a lot easier. So you have the ecosystem that you
Yeah.
can like depend on.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Cool. So tell us about you did mention you like to work on customer facing products, right? Going back into like the technology aspects of it, like what does your job involve? Like what exact technologies are you doing? Are you still doing more of back end, more of the front end?
So started as a backend engineer, and then at Microsoft, I switched to full stack role. I had to learn front end development. So that was for a new project that we were working on, and then my manager was like, "Would you like to jump on it?" And I saw it as an opportunity to learn something new. I jumped on it. At first, I was a bit hesitant on like whether I would like enjoying like the front end part, because some of the projects that I did in college, honestly, I didn't enjoy a lot working on the front end side of it. So I was a little skeptic, but I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, let me give it a try. I want to know like if I'm enjoying it or not. But once I started working on front end, I figured, yes, I'm enjoying it. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. So um, at certain point, I was moving to a lot more of front end development, and there was a bit of back end development. So I had this thought of, okay, I don't want to leave my back end development. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is where I started, and I was really enjoying that. I was getting that feeling of accomplishment when I did back end development. So that's what made me switch back to backend development. So here
Okay.
at Slack, I'm a fully backend focused engineer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can completely see that am really still enjoying that back end part of it, and I'm getting that satisfaction of doing something. It's not that front end is not bad. Like there's a lot of complications and there's a lot of intricacies to it too. But me as a person enjoy working on the back end more, and that's what I'm focusing right now.
Yeah, makes sense. And I've probably been in a similar situation where I was like almost focused on the business logic and the code functionality within on the back end, and then the front end. I always found it pretty challenging for myself, and then I was like, I'm better off letting somebody else manage it who specializes on that. So I can relate to that. So what are some of the trends that you are seeing right now? Like, is there such a thing as uh, like sufficient maturity within the product, or do you still think there is scope of doing a lot of new features in Slack?
So it's a balance of both, right? So you still need to maintain the features that you have,
Mhm.
and abundance of features are going to get people confused. So
Yeah.
some products that I worked like in my past roles, there were a lot of new features that we were building, integrating, and like a lot more things coming in.
Mhm.
But the balance is when you figure, okay, is it actually useful for the customer? So what is the rate of usage? So that's
Mhm.
something that we always have to keep in mind. So
Mhm.
Slack definitely has a lot more potential, like a lot of features that they are currently being worked on, like which are in the pipeline or like
Yeah.
in the future we would be working on. But I feel like in the team that I work on, or like my sister teams, like we do have a balance of like what we have right now, making it the best, or if we
Mhm.
need to improve it, like maybe it might be like in the front end, it might be in the back end, like working on the architectural side of it.
Yeah.
So always the teams, or all the teams within my, like which I work on, and I'm sure it's how the other teams work as well. Like they have a balance on like adding something new versus maintaining something, making it better. So say you have ton of features, and then if all the feature, if it's slow, it's not going to make a customer happy. That it's going to be a lot of hassle for the customer. One, to keep track of all these features. Second,
Yeah.
is it actually adding value to them?
Mhm.
That's something that we have to make a decision and follow the needs.
Yeah.
And that's again like leading back to the customer success and like keeping the customer happy, meeting the needs, and at the same time maintaining the value of the product.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's really amazing. So, what are some of the trends that you are seeing within the industry right now? Like, I know AI is a big buzz thing. Like everybody's trying to do it. But in addition to AI, like, are you seeing anything else as well? And within AI, like, what are you seeing?
So AI, of course, it's the buzzword now. Like everything, anything that we do, there's a touch of AI to it. But how I take it is, yes, of course, AI is there. We have to make use of it so that it aids to what is being done. For example, like we have Copilot or any of those platforms that helps us in coding, or like being like a buddy to code. Like vibe coding is a thing now. So what I feel is, yes, let's make use of all the tools out there, but are we doing it in the right way? That is a question to be asked. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it making our life easier, or like is it making us lazier or easier? So that's something that I always think. So of course, if you ask me about other things, like there are a lot of things, but then um, what I say is there's an influx of products that makes people's life easier. So,
Mm-hmm.
and with that I mean there is AI power behind all those products. Like I don't want to name any products, but then it might be either you said you are in real estate. There might be a lot of products that focuses on like rental management or like property management.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that, that's something that people like really struggle with sometimes. Okay, how to keep track of all these things? Like, did you do this about this house? Did you do this inspection, or did you make the payment for this? Like, I've seen an influx of a lot of products that handles all these things for you, so that you get time to be more productive,
Yeah.
and you can focus on things that matters more to you than like focusing more on the mundane tasks. Let's take, for example, ChatGPT makes life a lot easier with emails. And a lot of people completely rely on ChatGPT for emails these days. Or it's like you keep reading and rereading the emails, like is it the right wording? Am I too harsh? Is it sounding like as though I'm too like too naive? There's a lot of things people keep worrying when you are doing something that you do on a daily basis, just a single email. Making use of these products to your needs and giving us time to focus on more things that is important to us is what I've been noticing lately. There was a time in which like people were worried, okay, AI is going to take over everything and we might be jobless in some time. But these days, like it took a turn from when I talk to people, when I hear from multiple sources, they are actually thinking of like how to make use of it to make our life easier, get other works done of us. So this is something that the next thing that I'm going to say, I don't remember who said it. It's a lady whom I spoke to a couple of months ago. She was telling, or I read it somewhere, I don't want AI to do my work so that I can go wash my clothes, do my laundry, cook, or anything. I want AI to do those things so that I can focus on my work, pursue my hobby, or read something. So that's where I see it. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think automation and intelligence. I would so take so much intelligence in anything around me that I rely on. Why can't just lights just switch on and off based on what I might be thinking about? Why can't I just
Trust me, I did
someone
it.
wake
My
me up?
husband did it at my home so that it makes our life easier. Okay, let's.
Somebody
Turning
wake
off the
me up
switch should be
on
the least thing that I should be worried about at the moment.
Yeah, if I slept early, wake me up early saying, hey, it's time to work out. Like instead of like one set alarm every single day. Like if I slept late, I don't probably want to wake up early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, even within the real estate space, like just this week, like I used the Association of Realtors forms for doing a lease, and then I was uploading that lease into my property management platform, and they had an AI integration which would review that lease and tell me if I missed something. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was useful. And it did bring up some things, and I was like, holy crap! After signing the lease, I hope I didn't miss it, and I went back and I read it, and I was like, okay, it's covered. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have extra help in
Mm-hmm.
doing these things. So in addition to everything that you're seeing, if somebody wants to follow like a career path and reach the level of success you have reached, what are some of the things that you believe are required, like the technical skills, the mindset, and like the approach? Like how does somebody become successful?
The key is the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You can, here's how I see it. You can learn things if you want to, if you have the right mindset for that. So the companies that I worked for, each of them had different technologies used.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working in Java, and then I switched to, with Microsoft, I switched to C# and TypeScript,
Wow,
and Dropbox, it was Python. And here in Slack, we are using Hacklang. So it was different in each companies. And yes, of course, the interview process is something that you have to clear. And no, none of these companies are like very adamant on like, hey, you have to code in this particular language during your interview. It's up to you, like anything that you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm going at it is, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to spend that time that you need to learn something new or prepare yourself for the skills that you need to be successful in a role, that is key to being successful. Like, so mindset is everything. So
Yeah.
if you're not ready to learn something new, it's not going to help you. You can't be stuck. You can't keep worrying that, okay, I have to move ahead in your career, but I'm not ready to learn anything new or do anything to that.
Yeah.
So that is what I always think, and that's what I always tell my mentees or anybody whom I meet.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the mind, if you have the willingness to learn something new or experiment with it, that's always the key to success. Plus, branding yourself. Personal branding is very key. Be confident with whatever you say. Or I've during my interviews, I've answered, like, if you don't know, it's okay to tell you don't know about it.
Yeah.
And I've said so. Like I've said in my interviews, yeah, I may not know about it right now, but I'm willing to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
And showing that confidence is what is key during your interview process.
Yeah. Makes sense. And how like what's a good career path? Like does somebody start off with doing hands-on development, and then like how do they reach kind of senior levels? Like is
It's up to them, right? So identify what do you enjoy. So A person who doesn't enjoy coding, I wouldn't suggest them to stick on coding. But if they're good at a different type of thing, say for example, they're good at identifying new features, product management would be a good path for them. So it reminds me of something that I used to do in college. Like we did have college projects, and we were a team of three. I was good at coding. My other teammate was good at bringing in features, and the other one was very good at presenting those. So we
Yeah.
had the balance of these three things, and
Nice.
we all of us didn't try to do the same thing. We tried to do things that we were good at. So it helped us a lot. So that's what I apply in even in my life. So if I am good at coding, or like if I really enjoy that, it's not that I have to be good at it. If you enjoy it, you'll start liking it. You'll start getting better at it.
Yeah.
If that's a path you are enjoying, you can start by coding, hands-on coding, be a software engineer, take up the next level. And at each level, like once you settle in this one level, like don't just sit there. Like you have to look for what is next.
Yeah.
And the key is you have to identify what are the requirements for the next role and start doing things at that level. It's not that one fine day your manager comes and tells you, hey, I think you're ready for the next role. Let's start doing things at that level.
Yeah.
Let's get you promoted. You have to start doing things at that level, and then you get promoted. That's what normally happens in a lot of the companies that I worked with.
Makes sense.
So keeping in mind that, yeah, if you want to keep moving forward, see what is next, what needs to be done to get to the next level. And
Yeah.
whenever you do things, like tweak it that way. Or if you're not getting that opportunity, talk to your manager, keep having that conversation that this is what I'm aiming for. How can I get there? What am I lacking? So your manager is the best cheerleader that you can have at your workplace, plus your teammates. So
Yeah.
having that open conversation is always helpful. And I know I derailed a bit from your question, like what is
That's
the
perfect.
right path? So the right path is always what you enjoy the most. So it can be hands-on coding, it can be a product management, it can be design, it can be cybersecurity. There are tons of roles open, like tons of paths open.
Yeah.
It's how you identify which role or which path matches you.
Yeah.
And I guess like school, the learnings that you have in school is something that leads to it. So you learn a lot of different subjects. You might be wondering, like, why am I learning this thing? Like, what is it used for? You're learning this to see if you're interested in this. That's what I say to the students, college students who are my mentees. So
Yeah.
if you enjoy doing the cybersecurity course, and if that's what you enjoy doing, go for it. There was a time when I thought, okay, I wanted to do cybersecurity, and I did learn some crypto paths, and I did some projects on that. And I was like, I think I thought I enjoyed it, but beyond some point, I was like, no, I don't enjoy that anymore, and then switch back to product development. So,
Yeah.
and
Makes
one other way that you can learn what your interests are is doing your personal projects at your own time. So it doesn't have to be tied to anything. Say, try building a website on your own, or at least like a profile of yours, like a portfolio of yours. See if you enjoy doing that. Okay, front-end development might be a thing that you enjoy. So that's how you play around with your skills and figure out like what you love the most.
Yeah. And as we come closer towards the end of this episode, like what are some of the like tips and tricks that you would recommend somebody like getting started in the industry? I know most of it is similar to what we just covered, but any other things that you would like to share with somebody trying to just enter the industry and saying, hey, there's just so much to do. Like, where do I even start?
Yeah, there's a lot of things if you ask me that. The main thing that I want to focus is personal branding. You don't have to be a senior engineer or like you don't need X years of experience to become a subject matter expertise on anything that you work on. Even during your first year of career, if there is something that you really enjoy doing, pick up work or tasks related to that and start to build your expertise around it, so that you can be a key person in the team and you become indispensable. So you will be the person who everybody is coming to you, like if it's related to that. You can build that expertise even without any title or designation. Focus on doing that from the beginning of your career, and look out for opportunities. If you are in a company-wide meeting and there is a focus on a new initiative, and that's something that you're interested, talk to your manager. Hey, I heard this in today's meeting. I'd like to do something related to that. if there is an opportunity that is coming up, I'd like to be like a person who is handling that or be the DRI for it. Or if you have your own ideas, pitch it. And that brings me to the next point, pitching the ideas that you have. There is no right and wrong in there. So initially during my career, there have been multiple instances when I thought of something and I was like, okay, that might be a dumb idea. Let me just keep quiet. And somebody else might be saying that in a few minutes, and that's okay, that was a great idea, which I had like a few minutes ago, but I kept quiet because I thought it's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Always, when you have some thoughts, put it out there. Might be not a great idea, but it might be a great idea sometimes. It depends on the perspective or the place where you're in. Putting it out is not going to harm you. Nobody is going to make fun of you in a workplace. So always feel free to be there. And also have a network beyond your professional or beyond your workplace. One thing that I missed out during when I was going in person, I work remote right now. So before, when I was going to work in like to the workplace office, I did meet a lot of people there. So my social circle was fulfilled. My social needs were fulfilled. I met a lot of people. But when I switched to remote, I'm not meeting a lot of people. That's when I actually started attending events or conferences, getting involved in like volunteering organizations. That actually expanded my network a lot. I did a lot more in the last 3 years than the time when I was going to office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt that, okay, I wanted to do a lot of things, but maybe I had my reasons. I found reasons not to do it. But when I had to do it, and it was very mandatory for me, yeah, I have to go out if I have to meet people.
Yeah.
And I did a lot more. I started a lot of volunteering efforts. I started a community here in Dallas when I moved here, and met a lot of people, hosted a lot of sessions along with my other people, like-minded people whom I had here. And recently, I launched a program based on my mentor's book, Show Your Worth. And we had our first session last week, and we are planning to go global in a few months. So all these things I started doing.
Tell me more about it. Like I saw the book, but tell me more about how the book came in existence. What is it about?
Okay, so that book is written by Shalmina Abji. The book's name is Show Your Worth, 8 Intentional Strategies for Your Success. So it focuses on Shalmina's experience, and then she tells she was an IBM VP, and now she is a founder, book author, keynote speaker. There's a lot of titles that I can talk about her. So she talks about her experience plus how she went through all these, like how she gained what she is right now. So when I proposed to her, why not make a program, a cohort-based program based on your book? You have all the things that we need to do to be successful. Sometimes you need that push for people to make them do the thing that is told in the book. Like, you might read through it, but if you actually do it, it is going to be very helpful. So that's what I did with the program. So I took the content from her book, I made it into a workbook-based exercise, put it together as a cohort-based 10-week based program. And we launched it in Dallas. We are launching it in Seattle in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So we have a good participation, a lot of enthusiastic people who's working on it, and we are hoping to launch it globally in a few months.
Cool. Nice. That is really amazing. So if somebody wants to join, like where do they get started?
So we have a LinkedIn page as of now. That's where we will be posting about all the cohort intakes and everything. March 8th, Women's Day, International Women's Day, that's when we announce the program. And the page is where we can reach out to us right now. But my plan is to put together a full system wherein anybody can just come in, add it to a website. They can just inquire or submit their interest as a participant. So that's where we are planning for.
Nice. Yeah. So everyone that's interested, definitely join in. How long is it?
It's a 10-week program. So we'll have a kickoff session, we have a wrap-up session, and in between those 2 sessions, we have 8 workbook-based sessions. And each day we work through one of the strategy that Shalmina has highlighted in her book. And there will be a couple of exercises that you would be doing. There will be a plan that you will be making for yourself. And that's the overall structure of it.
And do we have to, whoever is interested, do they have to finish reading the book before joining, or this process will actually go deeper
It will
than?
walk you through the whole content of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that is amazing. Thanks for doing that. Is that part of the other one that you work like with Anita B? Like, is that's something different, right?
That is different. So
Okay.
AnitaB.org is another organization which is aimed for like getting more women into tech, supporting them. So that's what the organization is focusing on. So I am actually involved in like multiple of these
Sure.
initiatives. So I have my plate full all the time, and I really enjoy doing that.
Yeah,
So
I
that's one
was.
other organization that
Yeah,
I'm.
one of the questions I always like to ask is the hobbies and what keeps you occupied and happy after work. This
Mm.
will be one of them for sure, but
Yeah.
any others as well? Any other hobbies?
Yeah, this actually takes up a good chunk of my time, and I really uh, I've never felt complaining about it. I've really enjoyed doing that. So other than that, I enjoy reading books, road trips, and since you mentioned like Texas, Dallas is a central location
Yeah.
to go anywhere. That was one of the reasons for us to move back to Dallas, and a bit of singing. So that's the most of my hobbies.
Yeah, nice. Singing. So what kind of singing do you do?
Mostly Malayalam songs. So I'm from Kerala, so that's what I sing. And I do sing a little bit of Tamil and Hindi too, but it's just for fun. I don't do it
Yeah,
as like a professional or anything, just during my fun time.
yeah, makes sense. Cool. So, and just as we conclude this episode, like, what's the best way somebody can reach out to you?
LinkedIn is the best place you can find me. Always, I'm very responsive. Try to respond at least within a day at the max too. So feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds great. So, any other final thoughts for the audience?
Yeah, just a final thought would be, you did ask me like, what would you suggest people to like be successful? One thing that I wanted to close out with that was like, have fun in your life.
Mhm.
Your life shouldn't be just about getting things done or checking your to-do list. You should have you should have at least one hobby that you really enjoy doing, like one thing apart from work that you really enjoy doing. It can be traveling, it can be reading, it can be cooking, gardening, anything, or rock climbing. Like there's a lot of things that you can list. So
Mhm.
make sure to have fun while you're focusing, or else like your life is going to be so
Oh,
dull.
yeah, exactly. It's always good to like the work that you do, but also that don't give up on
I
everything.
guess self-care is something that is very much ignored, and it's having a hobby is part of it. So uh,
Yeah.
you'll drain out your whole energy if you don't focus on that part too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what life is worth, right? Yes, there is work, there is passion in it, and there is commitment, dedication, and everything in that. But in addition to that, I think doing something outside of work is also very important.
If you do not enjoy whatever you're doing or whatever you're making, the money that you make out of all these work, if you don't enjoy that, it's not worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very deep, and thanks for sharing that. So as we conclude this episode, wanted to thank you again for sharing your very valuable time and enlightening us. So all the insights that you have and sharing your experience with everyone that wants to make a great career in tech.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate inviting me, and I did have a good time. And thanks for inviting me.
Thanks.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Main Street Minds. Want to share your journey with our audience? Head over to mainstreetmindspodcast.com/guest to apply.